All right, Heather, we're good to go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the Douglas School Committee to order on November 1st at 7 p.m. I would like to do a roll call vote since we're virtual, of all the school committee members, please.
Beth Bergstrom here.
Monique Salvasi.
Meg Rodson here.
I take a long sigh as Teresa Brooks is present too as well. She's logging in, and Heather Warren is present as well.
It is. My computer decided at this point that it needs to update right now. But we're here.
Story of our lives.
Isn't it though?
Yes, it is. I'd like to read the Douglas Public Schools mission statement. The Douglas Public Schools offer a diverse learning experience that meet the academic, social, physical, and emotional needs of all of our students. We provide a safe, supportive, and challenging learning environment in which students may achieve academic success and personal growth. Decisions are made in the best interest of our students. We have a student representative, which I think we do, is Molly Sitchenfield.
Yep,
correct?
Stinchfield. Hello.
Hello, Molly.
Stinchfield.
Sorry, I didn't mess up your last name. I apologize.
That's okay.
Welcome.
Hello. The month of October has been quite eventful in the high school. Our advisory periods continue to help students manage their time, stress, and futures. Juniors and seniors have been able to meet with college representatives recently during the school day to learn more about the colleges they're interested in attending in the future. During this month, we also had 8th graders here for a step-up day to learn about all the different classes that we have offered in the high school and better understand the new range of classes that they have for their freshman year. There were also some club trips that were taken this month. Chorus and band, they performed at Oktoberfest on the 7th. The GSA went on a field trip conference on the 18th, and DECA also went on a conference trip on the 20th, which I believe at a university. As of recently, student councils just hosted their haunted hallways. The theme was zombies, and they used rooms in the Spanish wings to create a spooky experience for the community. The event raised over $600, which helped student council lead more events. In October, we also had our first sets of PSAT and SAT testing, which was on the high school. Students taking the PSATs became more well acquainted with how SATs are run to improve your future college applications. And the current SATs that were just taken are helped to finalize college applications that are pretty much due soon. We also had our NHS induction ceremony on the 12th. There was 9 new junior and senior inductees and 10 returning members, and I'm actually one of them. For sports, there were several senior nights hosted across the football, volleyball, and soccer teams. There were also various senior projects hosted by many team members across our season sports. Many matches within this month have also been dominated by Douglas teams. And one, for example, is we have the Hutton Douglas football team, who won their recent game 33-16.
Congratulations on your National Honor Society induction. That's
Thank you.
a pretty incredible feat, so congrats.
Molly, are you a junior or a senior?
I'm a senior this year.
So where are you applying for college, or what are your future plans? We always like to hear when the students come and talk to us.
I plan to go for graphic design, and I just put in one application for college the other day, and I have a few more due in a couple weeks. So I'm excited for that.
Do you have a number one choice?
As of right now, I think Elmira College.
Oh, wow.
It's in New York.
It's in New York, yeah. Very cool.
Thank you.
You'll keep us posted once you hear?
I'll figure out in December, so
Awesome.
It'll be close.
Exciting.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Molly, for coming and talking to us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome anytime. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night, Molly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I open it up for public comment. Anybody here for public comment? I don't think so, but I just want to make sure. I'm not seeing anybody. I'm going to move it on to any old business, Dr. Vera.
There isn't any.
Moving on to new business.
All right, first and foremost, I'd like to welcome our new member to the school committee and to our team, Meg Rodson. So welcome to the school committee. Welcome to a fun ride for the next 7, 8, 9 months, maybe even 4 years or 6 years. But just wanted to take this opportunity to welcome you to the school committee. We had the opportunity, myself, Mrs. Keegan, and Ms. Rosden, to meet on Friday of last week for a few hours. And I know today she met and toured the high school with Mr. Ringette. So she has jumped in already with both feet and ready to roll up her sleeves and help us move forward. So just want to take this opportunity to welcome you to the school committee and to Douglas Public Schools again in a different capacity than a parent.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited. Thank you. Everyone's been so informative and helpful, and bear with me as I muddle through and try to figure things out, but appreciate everyone's insight that I've gotten so far. It's been really, really helpful.
And we'll do it together, which is important. All right. Next on the agenda is the bully intervention plan. So last year, we worked collaboratively as an administrative team to put together that bully intervention plan. We borrowed from a couple of resources, but we spent some time in the first half of the fall putting that together. And just a quick update on it. At the beginning of the school year, each of the principals met with their staffs just to make sure that staff is well aware of what's in that plan, what's in the document, what to do if they see bullying, what to do if they have any questions, and the process to go about if a student reports it to them. We want to make sure that kids, adults, and everyone are safe in school. So we started the school year off with informing them what's in the plan. Principals did that in those August PD days. Sometimes it happened in the staff meetings in September, October, and it's going to continue to happen throughout the school year. We have the ability now to have the DA's office coming in. They're coming in November to meet with parents at night at 6 o'clock to do a workshop on bullying. And I know that the principals have been working with various different agencies, the DA's office and some other places, in order to bring in some professional development for staff and for students to be able to identify the signs of bullying and, again, how to keep our students and staff safe in school. So we spent a lot of time. It's about a 30, 40-page document. Want to thank Ms. Bergson for last year starting the process of the ball rolling in that and showing us a couple of exemplars that we were able to use and model and customize to us. But it's always easier when you have an exemplar to work from than to start a 40, 50-page document from scratch. So I thank you, Beth, for doing that. Our attorney's taking a look at it to make sure that it meets all legal requirements and everything. So just wanted to give the committee a quick update on that intervention plan and what we've done as a school community with our staff and with our students so far this year. Questions?
Just a quick one. I really appreciate all the work that's gone into this. I was just wondering if, and if the principals know the answer to this, but if with their building committees of parents and things like that, are they showing that to the parents and getting their input to make sure that they're, having kind of that two-way communication on what parents are seeing? Or could we do that? Could we add that to our list of things to make it a little bit richer?
I'll let them answer it. So one of the things was they were supposed to meet with their school councils to go over it. One of the problems is we're struggling in some of our buildings to get parents to volunteer for school councils. But I'll turn it over to Bob and to Rob, who fortuitously happen to be here tonight, and they can let you know what they've done in their buildings. We'll go alphabetical order by first name.
I don't know if I'm on or not.
You are,
I'm in my
Rob.
car. Okay, great. I'm in the car in front of the boys' soccer game right now. So I apologize. I can't really see a whole lot either. So I've been able to put together a school council. The anti-bullying program is something that we definitely want to bring to them. Just kind of give you an overview. right now, like today when I met with my school council, it was very much on what we call the vision of a graduate. So we're taking steps to get there. And so it'll be on a future agenda to meet with our school council with.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Bob?
We're having a extremely difficult time to get parents involved with our school council. It's been in our newsletter almost all year. So if there's any parents watching out there today or any friends of school community members, we'd love to have you. We did review it as a staff, soup to nuts. And I think it'd be, Dr. Vieira, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's posted on our website as well,
It should be
correct?
correct, yes.
Yeah. So they know. I think it's funny now that kids will teasingly use the B word, bullying, when on the slightest indiscretion. So if someone steals a tater tot, they yell out, "I'm being bullied." And I'm like, don't say that word. That requires a lot of work. But as we explained to the staff, what might seem minor in one class, if that's being done in class after class after class after class, it's important that we track it. So we do have an internal mechanism outside of the bullying report to track those little things that may turn into a big thing. Alleged aggressor or alleged aggressor. So the staff is well keyed in on that.
Thanks, Bob. And again, just to point out, and I know Beth, you and I have chatted, just saw your email before we logged on. There was a program put on by the Department of Education, a family and community and school engagement workshop. We had to have equal representation between parents and school representatives, or maybe it was a third, but we couldn't get parents to sign up. We had one parent sign up. Bob was sharing today, because we talked about it at our leadership team. The middle school math teachers sent out, I think it was live and in Zoom, a workshop to help middle school parents with their kids on how to teach math. And they put it out. And Bob, how many people came to that event?
Just myself and the 3 math teachers.
So it's been that struggle where and as I said to members of the leadership team, we're going to continue trying because you can't stop. But for whatever reason, you put a lot of these events out there, and it sometimes you're not getting a response. Last year I did, I think, a 6 or 7 part series where we did a bunch of different workshops of families, and I think for 5 of the 6 I had 2 or 3 people come, and then we did one on executive function, and I had 30. No rhyme or reason, but that's where we are with the plan. But thank you for asking that question, Beth.
No, thank you. And at that conference, there was a lot of different ideas that I think we could easily do that don't cost anything. So
Yeah,
I'll
love
talk
to
to you
hear
about
that.
it later.
Awesome, thank you. And the last piece is where we stand with the interim principal search. On Wednesday and Thursday of 2 weeks ago, there was a committee of 2 teachers, a paraprofessional, Ms. Salvis, myself, and Ms. St. Pierre, who interviewed 7 candidates. It was a great 2 days. They were a little skeptical at first when I said we're going to enjoy ourselves, we're going to do great work. And Monique's laughing because we actually had, it was a great process, and we got a lot of great work done. We were able to narrow the 7 down to 4. On Monday and Tuesday of this week, I had the opportunity to meet with the 4 candidates. I met with them for about an hour. Ms. Keegan came in and met with me and each of the candidates for about 15, 20 minutes. I then went over to the elementary school, and myself, Dr. Rosenthal and Jackie Sullivan met with each of the candidates for about half hour. We toured the building, and then we came back to my office. So for each of the candidates, we met about 3 hours in total on Monday and Tuesday. I'm in the process of doing reference checks right now for the finalists, and as I told each of them, aggressively and optimistically, I'd like to have this done by the end of the week. Realistically, it's probably going to be the beginning of next week. Each of the 4 finalists are in different places right now. Some can start with 3 days notice. Some can start with 2 weeks notice. Some can start with 4 weeks notice. So depending on who we go with, we'll have different start dates. We should have that wrapped up, like I said, hopefully by the beginning to middle of next week. And then I'll make an announcement publicly. So really pleased with the 4 finalists. I was able to share with the committee and the community and staff their brief bios. Really surprised with the caliber of the people, and the reference checks have been wonderful for the people that I've reached out for. So I think we're really fortunate with whoever we go with, and I think students, families, and staff will be in good hands with whoever we decide as one of the leaders. Questions about that? All right. And that is my report. I just real quickly, we have a meeting scheduled for that December 6th. And that December 6th meeting, we're going to be presenting our STAR and NWEA data. So that meeting's probably going to be a little bit on the lengthier side. We were going to do it on the 20th, but I figured 2 days before Christmas. So we're going, so we pushed it towards the 6th. Thank Mr. O'Brien for making that work too. And I know that Jackie's going to be working behind the scenes with Miss Sosha to do it. So we'll have that done on the 6th. And it'll be good to have the compare and contrast data from where we did the assessment in September to where we are now after 2 to 3 months of interventions with students. So looking forward to presenting that data and seeing what it shows us on the 6th. I think students are testing next week and the week after. So we should have some, we'll have results for that meeting. That's
So
all
is
my-
is this considered our mid-year testing period?
No, they're gonna do, I believe 4 this year. They're doing either 4 or 5. They're doing one in, so Bob can speak to NWEA. I know STAR a little bit better. They did 1 in September, they're doing 1 in November, they're doing 1 in January, they're doing 1 in March and 1 in May. So we're doing this one in November, just to give staff and everyone that ability to say, okay, here's where students were in September, that first, second, third week of school. We put together interventions the last week of September, all October, and the first week or 2 of November. What are the results we're seeing with students? And then they can tweak that plan, and then we'll do another major benchmark in January, do another one in March, and then do another one in May. So I guess this is not the halfway, but maybe the quarter way assessment for students, but we're going to do 5 this year for NWE from STAR. Bob, I think you're doing 4?
We wanted to do 4. We tried to do 4 last year. Unfortunately, the 4th test runs up way too close to MCAS, and we found a bit of test fatigue with our students. So we'd like to get in 3 before the MCAS testing starts. I know a couple of teachers at the end of the year did a couple of NWEA testing just to check out their growth. Nothing official. They just wanted to do it on their own. So we'll push the middle schools to the as close to the end of November as we can and get that information back to the school committee.
All right. And that's all I have for tonight.
So I'll just say the gold star goes to you, Mr. O'Brien, for being forward thinking and looking at our calendar. Thank you. We do appreciate it. All right, moving on now to the school committee and subcommittee report, the accounts payable report, Beth.
I'm actually ready for it virtually tonight. So warrant 16 SCH 24, 16 SCHL 24, and HS 24-01. Warrants dates 10/18, 10/19, and 10/20 of 2023. Total of 17 batches and a total dollar amount of $229,958.84, and there was no concerns or irregularity.
Thanks. Moving on now to the consent agenda for October 20th, 2023, the meeting minutes review. If no one has any issues, I'd be looking for a motion.
I move to approve the October 18th, 2023 school committee meeting minutes.
Motion made by Monique, seconded by
Teresa,
Teresa. Roll call vote, please.
Beth Bergstrom, aye.
Teresa Brooks, aye.
Monique Salvas,
Heather Moore and I.
Aye.
It's all good to go. So those meeting minutes have been approved. Now moving on to the consent agenda, we need to appoint a new secretary, and then for the positions that
Subcommittees.
and the subcommittee which was health. So who would like to come forward to become the secretary, which is basically taking the notes when we have executive sessions?
It's a lot of fun. Thank you, Teresa. Is there a motion to appoint Teresa? Quick.
I
make
move to approve. Go ahead, Monique.
Oh, you were on it, girl. So I move to approve Teresa Brooks as our secretary for the school committee.
Second. Now we do a roll call vote.
Beth Bergstrom, aye.
Teresa Brooks, aye.
Meg Rodson, aye.
Aye.
Heather Moore and I. Thank you so much, Teresa. The next subcommittee, I think, is just the health one.
Health and wellness.
Dr. Fair, you can talk
Sure.
about what that actually is.
So we have 4 health and wellness meetings each year. I sent something out in my last newsletter to try to get people involved. But really what the Health and Wellness Committee does is work with myself. We try to have a nurse on there. We try to have community representatives. We have the athletic director. And it's really to look at the district's health and wellness programs. And that's everything from nutrition to policy to physical education to SEL to morning meeting. And we meet 4 times a year. So we just need a representative on the school committee to join those meetings. They're typically done via Zoom at 4 p.m.
Dr. Veer, how often do those meetings meet?
They're about 4 times a year, maybe 5 max. I think we're going to do one in November, January, March, and May.
I can volunteer for that.
So I'll make a motion to appoint Meg Rosin to the health committee.
Second.
Seconded by Beth. Can we do a roll call vote, please?
Bergstrom, aye.
Teresa Brooks, aye.
Meg Rodson, aye.
Salvas, aye.
Heather Moore and I. Thanks, Meg.
Thank you, Meg.
Welcome to school committee. All right. Anything else on the consent agenda that's not listed? Can we do a little off the topic for the consent agenda? Topics not anticipated is where I'll bring it up. So hold that thought. Moving back over to school business and operations manager report. Courtney?
Okay, thank you. I have some transfers and reclassifications this evening. I have FY 2024 general fund budget transfers number 2. And Meg, just by way of explanation, the per Mass General Law, the school department's budget is voted as $1 amount bottom line appropriation, but the school committee approves the budget with all of the DESE chart of account lines and a certain dollar amount in each one. So certainly those things change all throughout the year, pretty much every day. So I didn't do as good a job keeping up with it last year, but I'm trying to really do a good job keeping up with it this year. So I'm basically moving funds from one budget line to another budget line if a line went over. So that's basically, so you'll see these hopefully quite a bit throughout the year to keep it really clean. So that's what this is here. Does anyone have any questions? And most of these are, well, a lot of the ones in the beginning are requests from administrators and basically principals. And then the rest is my going through the rest of the budget. And because most of the budget is is salaries and things of that nature. So I clean those up after the start of the school year when we see who is where and what salaries they actually came in, at, or if there were any changes in personnel as well. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, so I'll be looking for a motion, please.
I
I move to approve the Douglas Public Schools FY 2024 general fund budget transfers number 2.
Motion made by Monique, seconded by,
Teresa,
seconded by Teresa. Roll call vote, please.
Beth Bergstrom, aye.
Teresa Brooks, aye.
Meg Rodden, aye.
Monique Salvas, aye.
Heather Moore and I.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, I have FY 2024 reclassifications number 3. And Meg, what these are is moving from one account to another. In other words, it's already been paid on a warrant. Sometimes we have to do that because of funding source. Sometimes to use up a grant, I might have paid for something in the general fund, but we need to use up the grant, and it's an expenditure that's eligible for that grant. So we'll do a reclassification there. And sometimes it's just simply, I hate to admit it, maybe there was one digit off in the account number, and so there was an error made. So then we correct that mistake there.
What's DW stand for?
District-wide.
Okay.
District-wide. Yep. Yeah, I have district-wide, and then DPS for primary, DES for elementary, DMS for middle, and DHS for high school.
Okay.
Well, district-wide is if you can't, if it doesn't fall into being expenditure within that specific school, then it would be in district-wide.
Okay.
Okay. Does anyone have any other questions?
Be looking for a motion for someone to approve.
Mm-hmm.
Schools FY 2024 reclassifications number 3.
Motion made by Monique, seconded by,
Meg.
seconded by Meg. Roll call vote, please.
Beth Bergstrom, aye.
Teresa Brooks, aye.
Meg Rodden, aye.
Okay, thank you very much. And then last, I have FY 2024 reclassifications number 4. And this is an example of using up a grant because otherwise we're at the very end of the life of this grant. So we're moving expenditures that were paid for in the summertime for training and education and moving it into an FY 2022 teacher quality grant. It had to be expenditures after July 1st. So some of these funds, very unfortunately, are going to be sent back to the state, but this is the most that we could actually reclass into that grant.
I move to approve the Douglas Public Schools FY 2024 reclassifications number 4.
Motion made by Monique, seconded by,
Meg.
seconded by Meg. Roll call vote, please.
Beth Bergstrom, aye.
Teresa Brooks, aye.
Meg Rodden, aye.
Salvas, aye.
Heather Moore and I.
Okay, thank you very much. The only other thing that I have under my report is that I'm anticipating at the next meeting on November 15th to be providing the school committee and henceforth as well. I think we've been remiss in doing this in the past, I hate to admit, of giving you, to start off with a very good comprehensive report on the capital needs of the school district. Now, as you know, we do a presentation to the capital planning committee and things, but I definitely want to. So this first one is going to be kind of a good summary and a little bit of background. And so you'll have a good idea of where we are with capital projects that have been submitted, what's out there to be done, and some other information as well on the school district as far as, the building, what needs to be maintained, the HVAC system and things of that nature. Not anything too overwhelming, but we'll start there. And I thought it would be good to do that prior to when we're preparing for the FY25 capital planning. And so at that time, we will be bringing that plan to the school committee as well. as we're working on that and finalizing that before it goes to the capital planning committee into the town as well. So I wanted to make you aware of that. Other than that,
Are we gonna hear about the special education grant? In
The 240? What's the special, which special education grant?
Monique, are you referring to the IDA, 240 grant we refer to it as, it's mostly used for tuitions that we get every year?
Yeah, it was one that we recently applied to.
So there are two that we typically apply for every year, and that's a 240 grant. And that's mostly used, well, it was always used for, it's been used for tuitions to offset, and that's actually incorporated in our budget. And also there's a small part that's used for, and I'm probably not going to have the proper verbiage, and Paul, maybe you can help me out here, but we were required to use a part of it as well as part of the grant requirements for
Professional development.
yeah, it was a different area. I don't have the proper verbiage, but it was a very small dollar amount. There's
Well,
also,
are we gonna know if we've received that grant? Is the
oh,
school
we
committee
have,
gonna
it's
know?
been approved, yep, but it
Okay.
just got approved, so I'll be bringing that to the November 15th.
Okay, that's my
Um,
question, yeah.
Yep, that'll be the 240 grant and the 262 grant. I think that'll be it. As far as all the grants that we've applied for and approved, I brought the rest of them to the prior meeting. We just received that grant, and also the 262 grant, which is just around 10, 11,000 every year that we offset the cost of one of the paras at the primary school.
And Dr. Rosenthal's coming on the 15th to give his 100-day report.
Oh, good, so that'll be perfect timing, yeah.
So it'll be, it's
Okay.
like you read my mind, Miss Salvis.
Okay.
Yeah, so we already have that on the agenda for the November 15th. He'll be doing this 100-day report and findings. So there'll be a question you can also ask Ken as to the grant, but he'll be
That
here
part
then.
of it. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Courtney. For topics not anticipated, we forgot to put down on here, but we were talking and need to get everybody's buy-in of changing the school committee meeting time to fall back a little bit to for a 6:30 start time versus a 7 o'clock. And we just want to make sure we have a consensus with everybody that there'll be no issues if we change the time. Thoughts?
No issues for me. I'm all for it.
We will make sure that when we do the agenda, we will post it in big bold letters. We'll put some stuff out on the website. I'll ask the principals to include it in newsletters, but we'll make sure we advertise that as best we can in all of our different forums to people.
Great. So do we have to do a roll call vote for that, Courtney, to change the times? Should we be putting that in?
To be honest with you, I'm not sure, because I've never had that happen in 27 years. I don't know. Do you know, Paul?
I don't think we do, because we've had school committee meetings at different times scattered throughout the year, especially during COVID. We've met at different times, so I don't think we do. I will reach out to legal counsel just to make sure we're not violating anything, and if we are, then we will do it differently when we meet on the 15th, or maybe we'll do an emergency meeting to vote to change it.
Why don't we just take a roll?
Or I was just
Yeah, it
gonna
sounds
say,
like everybody's
exactly.
for it.
I was just gonna say, go for it.
So I'd be looking for a motion from somebody first, and
Yeah.
then we'll do the roll call.
I move starting with the next meeting that we meet at 6:30 p.m. instead of 7 p.m.
Motion made by
second the
Teresa.
motion.
Motion made by Teresa, seconded by Meg. Roll call vote, please.
Beth Bergstrom, aye.
Teresa Brookside.
Meg Rods and I.
Monique Salvasi.
Heather Moore and I. Thank you. Now my next part. On December 20th, should we do it virtual versus in person? That is up to, I'm just throwing it out there. I just know it's a hectic week that week. I just know from parental responsibilities.
I don't
So-
think you're going to get any complaints. No, that's
Is
fine.
everybody in agreement with doing a virtual on December 20th?
Yes, please.
Awesome. we don't have to do a roll call vote for that. That is all that I have. Did anybody else have any seconds? I know that next week, Dr. Vera and I are going to be at the Massachusetts Joint School Committee forum that they have conference.
Right.
So we'll be attending that on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So looking forward to that, and I'll bring back stuff for everybody to share. So
If at the
anything else?
conclusion of this meeting, if Heather, Beth, and Courtney, if we could just stay on so we could schedule a subcommittee meeting, that'd be fantastic.
Yes.
Just for 2 minutes, thank you.
Yep.
Before people hit log off too fast.
So I'd be looking for a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn the November 11th, 2023 school committee meeting at 7:36 p.m.
I second.
November 1st, just to
Is that what did I say? Did I not say no?
11th. Just so people aren't confused.
That's awesome. Yep.
Motion made
And I
by
seconded
Beth.
it for the 11th.
Megan. Motion made by Beth and seconded by Meg for November 1st adjournment. Roll call vote, please.
Beth Bergstrom, aye.
And Teresa Brooks, aye.
Meg Rodson, aye.
Aye, and welcome, Meg,
Thank you so much.
officially.
Heather Moore and I. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening.
Have a good night.
Good
Thank
night,
you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Mr. Ringet, do we have a score?
Honestly, I can't see the scoreboard right now.
All right. Thank you.
I parked the wrong way and there's a fence in the way, so.
Oh.
All right. We will wait for Mr. Velamir to log us off YouTube.
I'm trying to, hold on.
No, I know.
I might have to end the meeting. Yeah. It won't let me try one more thing here.